I just can't understand how people used to meet up with mates.
I'll be there. I'll be there at 5 p.m. before phones.
Like, and then you write a letter to your mate Steve. It's like, I've really fucking stiffed Johnny this weekend. I've told him we're going at 5 o'clock. No one's going.
And you always have that, like, you get there first and someone stood you up, and you always have that how long do I wait moment where you sat there like a fucking idiot for like
twiddling your thumbs.
45 minutes. You wouldn't do that to me.
I've really been making a point for the past, I don't know, maybe about a year or so. I haven't really talked to you about this either because it's not a big thing. But when you're in those moments, like if you're going to the pub to meet someone or anywhere at all, you're waiting, don't pull your phone out because you feel awkward. Because it's just like it's okay to be on your own. It's okay to nearly headbutted the microphone. It's okay to be in your own space there for a minute. Like you don't need to look like you've got mates. You know what I mean? I feel like so many people pull their phone out when they're on their own just to look like they've got this big life that they're dealing with.
I don't think so. Honestly, I think what it is it's compulsive. If you look at anybody ever, like you go and get a coffee, right? You order your coffee. It takes 40 seconds to come, right? If you're lucky. And people
you've got a good barista.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Well, Macca's coffee.
Macca's coffee, yeah.
There you go.
Fucking get an instant, whatever it is. But even if it's like 30 seconds, you'll see people take a step back, phone out, and it's compulsive. Yeah. I don't even think people don't even know they're doing it, right?
No, but can you just imagine how bad, people's ability to converse with one another is going to be in like 20, 30 years. It is going to be...
Not if we get enough bloody trademark shirts out there.
No, seriously. It is a scary thing to think of. Like,
I just had 5 days away. It was supposed to be 4, but I stayed Sunday night, went camping, me and Lily and a couple of mates.
Awesome.
And I made a conscious... Because you know what? My phone has been taking a toll on me.
Yeah, it does.
And it seriously has. But I mean, add in a couple of other, extra dramas that I've had lately. It's just been too much. And I switched my phone on airplane mode on Thursday morning when we left. I told my brother, I was like, because I knew mum would be worried if she tried to contact me. I told my brother, I was like, if mum calls you freaking out that my phone's off and she thinks I've bloody, died, just tell her I'm just cut off until Monday. And it was the best thing I did. And I did it really, I stuck to it. I turned it off airplane mode a couple of times just to play Spotify tunes, but that was it. I was not, so, and it was the best thing I did. I didn't realise how much I needed a break from that bullshit.
So you need to look into setting up your do not disturb. So I work with my therapist. I work with my therapist. So I went and saw a therapist. I had a breakdown a few years ago. We'll gloss over that. No, we'll talk about it. But no, and I'm extremely receptive to all this information. And I'm one of those, if a ping goes off, it sits there in my brain and it just throws me off whatever I'm doing.
You can't do anything until
And anyway, so a few things I did. I'm not on social media at all, apart from LinkedIn, just to participate in the business circle jerk.
Welcome to the pod.
Where everyone just tries to prove they're amazing at business and no one is. But yeah, I have that professionally because a lot of my clients are on LinkedIn. Remove myself from social media because it was offering zero value. Set up a load of WhatsApp groups. Okay. This will change your life, by the way, right? So when we started and Facebook came out and everyone was going mad, it was because we could connect with friends and stay involved in friends' lives even when we weren't there.
Oh, this is so,
right. Now it's just a platform that churns content to sell things to you. Sorry if you're listening to this on Facebook now. And but if you go through your feed, it's just ads and then it's very little about connection anymore. So what I did is, the other thing is it drives your behavior. And if anybody can do this, have a look at objectively the things you do because you're going to put it on social media. And for a lot of people, it's a lot of what they do, right? A lot of people only go a certain place, order certain food, meet up with certain people, so it can go on social media, right? And it goes out to a lot of people who don't give a flying fuck, I'll be honest.
But they think they give a fuck.
Right. But the algorithms trick you into thinking that it's there to be addictive for that reason. But what I did is I got all the friends I care about, close friends who I actually converse with, not Dave, who I used to know at school, who licked a battery in year 8 and fucking like, do you know what I mean? All these fucking, and now
It's still buzzing.
yeah, and now he works in Coles, and like I've got nothing. I won't want to keep in contact with that person, so I create them into actual groups, and I know if I've got something to say that's relevant to them for our group, I put it into that group, and they receive it directly, and I receive feedback on that thing with that friendship group. There's no fluff. I'm not trying to prove anything to strangers. And what I've found is I stopped trying to prove anything to anybody because my real mates don't give a shit.
Fuck.
So what happens is
So
I've got
true.
I've got all these groups and we throw.
This is a clip.
So no, we've got we
It was,
just
but you ruined it.
we just had a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
So we share pictures of our baby with people who actually care about it. We have like a little family group and they're all like, yes, we want to see baby. So we're not spamming people. And that's a good way for them to stay connected around the subject. But I've got other mates who are like, can you stop sending the baby pictures? Just fucking stop it. Like, we're not interested. But it also means I have genuine conversations in those groups. The other thing is, and here was another turning point, we had a friend who had a baby a couple of years ago, and this is what drove my wife to quit social media. It had been 6 weeks since her best friend, one of her best friends from school, she's got a group of like 5 or 6 best mates, and it had been like 6 weeks since she had a first kid. And Laura was like, I've not spoken to whoever it was, and I think I'll give her a ring, right? Gave her a ring. Oh, hey, how are you doing? I've not spoken to you. And her friend was 100% like, yeah, we have. We've spoken heaps of times. And it wasn't. It's because your brain can't differentiate between seeing a picture in a feed and having a connection with somebody. So her brain had tricked herself into thinking she'd spoken. They'd actually spoken, but they hadn't. They'd seen each other's updates in a feed, right? And not had a conversation. So
That is, I was literally just about to ask you about that. Because do you feel as though you have, like, I'm a phone call guy. As in, you know, I don't have to ring this dickhead as much anymore, which is good. But, like, you know, I've got a couple of mates, you know, 2 or 3 mates.
Yeah.
Like, Uncle Greg's nearly a daily phone call. Matty Lindsay, like, he's like, maybe once every couple of weeks.
yeah.
But, like, those conversations are, like, meaningful. You know what I mean? Like, you sit there and you have a genuine conversation. Everything else on social media, most of your other mates, is just like that. Like, you just seem to see what's going on. You know what I mean? And you only sort of call if you haven't seen something, I think.
Well, you don't call it just kind of hovers around your life and you're aware of what they're doing.
But you don't really, do you?
Right. And this is the point.